The Devil's Dilemma. Beelzebub was glad that he had fallen out with all of his religious contemporaries, like God and the angel Gabriel. He didn't care if they called him a devil. He had such fun. He was on one of his regular nighttime tours of Earth. He usually thoroughly enjoyed these expeditions, as they gave him a marvellous opportunity to enhance the normal mayhem he performed. The slumbering humans would awake to discover the trouble he had caused them and puzzle over the source of such anonymous destruction. Yet he was becoming irritated by tonight's excursion. He had toured a number of streets in the town, but couldn't find a suitable victim for his attention. The houses were all well maintained, lawns neatly cut and cars stowed in garages. Everyone was safely tucked in bed, so there was nothing he could do to annoy them. It wouldn't matter if he swamped the streets in darkness by damaging the public lighting. He couldn't frighten them and make them ill by pouncing on them. He couldn't cause a car accident by jumping in front of an unwary driver. Then he saw the convent perched on a hill. He had forgotten all about that. Yes, that could be amusing. It was clear that all of the inhabitants were asleep in their separate dormitories, so he parked his bike against a wall at the main door and tried the handle. It was locked, but he remembered a side entrance where people often overlooked security. To his delight, it was open and he entered. As he went through a number of long passages, he started to become vexed again, as there was no obvious way to disturb the calm and neat interior. It appeared to be immaculately tidy, drawers closed, cupboards and filing cabinets locked. He saw some coins on a desk and pocketed them, but their absence wouldn't lead to an adequate level of anger in his putative victims, so he continued his search. Then he spotted the pipe that carried gas from its external source to the main boiler. He thought about that for a minute. If he could break it, the noxious substance would fill the air and stop the ladies commencing their duties when they arose from their slumber. Snapping the tubing was easy, and he began to laugh as the fumes streamed out. Sadly, he hadn't taken into account his hot personality. After all, he needed such a high temperature to survive the extreme heat that he lived in. It set the gas alight, the flames quickly spreading around the building. It took Old Nick quite a long time to navigate his escape through the multiple corridors. At one stage he even lost his way and had to retrace his steps. Breathing started to become difficult due to the billowing smoke. However, eventually he managed to reach the side door, and he gratefully gulped down the fresh air. He decided that he'd had enough excitement for one night, so went round to the front of the building to retrieve his bike. Then he had his second disappointment. It had been severely damaged by the blaze and was now unusable. He started to become dejected. It was a long walk back to his home, and he really shouldn't be out in the daylight. It would be bad for his image. Yet he had no other form of transport. Then he remembered the coins in his pocket. That should cover the bus fare. He would be able to return to his normal abode and undertake his usual occupation of trying to encourage darkness to descend on the world after all.